Hey, what's up guys? In this video, I'm going to be going over a useful technique or use case using multiband compression or multiband dynamics. And we're going to be, getting an example load up here, just dropped in Serum. I'm going to create a MIDI clip and get the G in there. And then I'll just bring it down. And then I will add the filter in, give it some drive, cut off, maybe give it a friend. Put them both through the filter. Okay, cool. And yeah, let's just do that. Okay, there's that, and I'll give it an interesting kind of time signature thing there. I want that little bit of rumble there for reasons. No, I'll just leave that. Okay, so we have that. And we're going to load in Pro MB. And this is Pro MB. And basically what it is it's a compressor. That's basically what it does. Difference is that you have the ability to essentially split up a signal into different bands and compress those bands independently of each other. So let's just give that, let's just demonstrate that. So you can see here, this is, what it looks like. Right, you can see the frequencies there. And yeah, we can just click and it will create a band. And the band is, I guess, 315 to 1260, right? And we can solo that. And that's the band that we're working with. And yeah, there's a little crossover here, and you can adjust the slope, of course. And this right here lets you know how much gain reduction is happening. And this is the range of the gain reduction. So it's really useful. And there's like, threshold, attack, release, things that you'd expect. There's also expand, so you can, instead of compressing, you can adjust the transients. Very useful. So the reason why you'd want to use this here, we'll just get rid of that, as opposed to a compressor sometimes. And, compressors work and they're pretty cool, but multi-band compressors are also really cool. You got to use them kind of sparingly, or correctly, I should say. And a lot of people don't like them. Dave Pensato doesn't use them. He doesn't find them musical. He doesn't like them, which is fine. But however, I enjoy the use case, or not the use case, the utility of these. And I'll give you an example. And so let's just turn this into a compressor. We're affecting all bands now. And this is the compressor, that's going from, 30 hertz to 30K. And this is the compressor. So all frequencies affect the gain reduction. Like, they all affect the threshold, right? So, this is basic, dynamics. So what a multiband compressor can do, let's say, is you can, let's split these up into separate like constituents. So I'll go solo. This will be like, I guess, the sub. This will be the mid. And then this will be the high end. We can adjust these all independently. And you can have, I think you can have up to 8 of these guys. And it's really useful. And I use it to kind of control the low end. Right? And what this can do is this can kind of clean up your sound. And that's, this, like, you put this on a drum loop and it will even out things that you want to even out. So it's really useful. Okay, so there's a problem with this sound here, is that I want to compress it. But I'll just get rid of those. I want to compress it, but the high end parts are like affecting the low end. And I want to essentially control the bass line, or the low end here. I'll just show you what I mean. I want to control this. Right? But it's like, it's so like, it doesn't let up. So there's no like attack that it can point to do gain reduction. Right? It's just kind of riding it. Right? There's nothing really I can do. But there's this kind of cool guy up here, because of the snappiness of the filter that we have, there's this right here. And the compressor has something to bite onto, for lack of a better term. Like, so that has dynamics. This does not. And I'm going to call this dynamic stealing or something. I don't know. Kind of, I didn't invent this technique, but to give it a name, it's like, I guess we'll call it dynamics transfer. I'm gonna remember that, dynamics transfer. Anyway, so what we can do is we can actually steal the basically side chaining the high end here to apply to this low end. And this is super useful, and you really get to dial in the attack on all frequencies, particular frequency bands. So let's do that. So this is basically it here. That's the low end. Right, that's just, it's like, it's going on forever. It's not cool. Let's go to expert. I don't claim to be an expert, but whatever. And we're going to, so the sidechain source is the band in question. We can go free. And look at that. We can actually move that over. We can audition that. Right, so the higher frequencies you go on this particular sound, the more snappy it is. So we can actually apply that to this now. Effectively kind of cleaning up that sound and giving more control over the attack of the low end and a bit of the mids too. We'll increase the attack a little bit. Oh, you know what? That sounds weird because the phases are weird. There we go. We have it fixed now. Right? And that opens up a whole new door of possibilities here. And you can compress this differently. And yeah, you can do all sorts of cool stuff with that. And it's super useful. And yeah, what it does is it really cleans up the low end of your synths, because getting in there with an envelope and you know what I mean, it's like you want space for the bass to breathe in there. Yeah, so also slow attack on the low end, fast attack on the high end, right? Just because the wavelengths, or the duty cycle, is so far apart, like lower frequencies. You want that attack to kind of, get a little bit more of the bass to come through. Like super fast transients up here, like the frequency, it's like so close together, the frequency is so high, the waveform is so close together, so a lot of that attack can come through. So just keep that in mind. I guess that's like the #1 rule in the book of multiband compression. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I hope you learned stuff. Take care and have a good one.